In Bavaria, beer is more than just an alcoholic beverage. It's a basic food essential for life. And nowhere do the Bavarians enjoy consuming this beverage more than at the beer garden, where it's often drunk in 1 liter increments. Prost! I'm Donna, and you're watching Wanted and Adventure Living Abroad. So, what is a beer garden exactly? Well, let's start by talking about what it's not. A beer garden is not, as some Brits would have you try to believe, outside seating behind a pub. Nor is it, my dear Americans, communal tables in a covered patio area. No, the real beer gardens are so much more. Around 200 years ago, beer gardens came into being as a result of beer storage logistics. Breweries would store the fermenting barrels of beer in underground cellars, and because it was important for these cellars to stay cool year-round, the breweries covered the ground with gravel and planted shady chestnut trees all around. It didn't take long for people to realize that if they set up a few simple tables, it would really be a lovely place to drink with your friends in the warm summer months. At first, the breweries planned to sell food as well as beer, but this made the restaurants around town kind of nervous, so they petitioned the king to forbid the sale of food at the breweries. Because of that, people often brought their own pretzels and wursts to the beer gardens with them. Nowadays, it is legal for the beer gardens to serve food, but they must still also allow people to bring their own food. So, breaking it down. What makes a Bavarian beer garden? First of all, it's got chestnut trees. Secondly, the patrons are allowed to bring their own food, but not their own drinks. And lastly, there are wooden tables and wooden chairs or benches. Some beer gardens still brew the beer on site, but not all of them. Bavarian soft pretzels, sometimes bigger than your head, make an appearance at almost every beer garden. These are often eaten smeared with a bright orange spread called obatsta, which is made from mixing up a soft cheese like camembert with butter, paprika powder, and beer. At first, I didn't really get the whole beer garden experience, but now I can't imagine spending the summer without it. But still, even after 4 years, I'm not very good at the beer garden preparation. I find myself always last minute meeting up with people there after work, and the most preparation I seem to be able to pull together is to stop by the store and bring like a bag of potato chips or maybe a Tupperware of washed grapes if I'm lucky, but that's it. And then I get there and I look over at the table next to mine and I watch in envy as these people lay out a tablecloth and then pull out a full feast from their Mary Poppins bottomless bag. And I'm just sitting there drooling as I cling to my pathetic little Tupperware of grapes. And every time I vow to be more proactive the next time, more organized, it never happens. Some beer gardens have 2 different sections, a self-serve section and then a restaurant section. The tables might look the same, so be careful because if you sit in the restaurant section, you're not allowed to consume your own food. Not all beer gardens are the same. Some are on a lake, some have animals at them, like the Hirsch Garden. The Hirsch Garden in Munich seats over 8,000 people and is probably the largest Bavarian beer garden in the world. It gets the Hirsch part of its name from the animals there, deer. Beer gardens don't usually have a distinct smell to them. It's more just a mix of summer and beer and maybe a tinge of sweat. But this is, unless of course, they've got a steckerl fish kiosk on the premises. Steckerl fish are whole fish grilled on a stick. And when they're a grillin', they're a stinkin'. But people love them. Not me, but other people. Germans as a whole, as a generalization, can be a pretty reserved bunch, but not at the beer garden. Germans don't usually strike up a conversation with strangers
at, say, the supermarket, but in beer gardens, the barriers go down and you can really get to know people that you normally wouldn't interact with. Because at the beer garden, unless you have enough people in your group to fill the whole table, you'll probably end up sitting with people that you didn't know. And perhaps by the end of the afternoon, there'll be people that you do know. Here today at the beer garden on the lake in the English Garden, we've got a special treat. There's a band of doctors. Not a band as in a group of people living outside the law, but a band. One that plays music. And they're all medical doctors.
So, have you ever been to a Bavarian beer garden? What was your experience like? Let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Until next time, Auf Wiedersehen! Prost! 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 Prost!